at editing this image right here. We're going to try to edit this photo so it looks close to this photo. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in here in this photo, and I'm actually going to unlock this layer just to create a backup layer, drag it down to the new layer, turn off that layer. Now I have a backup copy of this. Okay, first thing we're going to do is fix this red eye. So we're going to go over to here to the healing brush, scroll down to the red eye tool, click on the red eye here, fixes that, fixes that. You notice with this red eye it leaves a little black mark in there. If I zoom in, you see that just a little bit, just a little. We don't want that in her eyelashes right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the top layer, turn off the background layer real quick again. I'm going to get my lasso tool by pressing L. I'm going to lasso the original layer of just her eyelid right there, and then copy and paste, and it'll paste on a layer right here. I'll call this eyelid. Okay, so that's her correct looking eyelid. It's a nice looking eyelid there. Now her eyes look better. Turn off the eyelid and I see that little black mark come back right there. There it's back. Turn it back on. That looks much better. Okay, so red eyes are fixed. That's good. Next thing is let's look at the spot healing brush. Like the clone stamp, this will resample your image, but the clone stamp you have to select a source to clone things. The healing brush you don't. All you need to do is set the size of your brush. You can make it larger or smaller with the brackets. Okay, this size should be fine. So if you click on this, what it does is it creates a sample of the image, the pixels around the area, and fills them in. Okay, so it takes away, it sees that in this area that all the pixels around this look the same. This dark pixel maybe is it or something like that, looks different. Could be a mole, but we're going to remove it anyway for practice. Okay, and we can do this wherever we want on the image. A little bit here, a little there. You can edit as much as you want. Just be aware that the more you do this, it will create a little bit of a Photoshop look. So do it sparingly. Okay, just fix that one right there. You don't want to take away too many because that takes away from her personality a little bit. Okay, now the next thing let's do is we'll fix the skin tone. And this is kind of a funny process, but stay with me here. The first thing we're going to do is create a new layer and then grab our paintbrush. And with the paintbrush, we're going to hold down, well, let's see, we don't want that, we want the brush. B for brush, sorry, not P for pen. All right, we have the brush tool. Now we'll hold down Option to get the eyedropper here. And eyedropper, this spot right here on her forehead to get a nice color. And now I'm going to paint over her face right here. And now initially you're going to say this looks really bad, which it does. I'm just going to paint over this right there. I'm just going to bring one kind of overall smooth blended color. I could even resample a few colors around here if I would like. I'm going to get this a little darker color in here. I don't want to change colors too much. I'm going to get that right there, and then do this as well. What we're going to do is kind of smooth some of these wrinkles out just a little bit. Okay, not a lot, just a little bit. We don't want to change who this gal is. So, all right, this looks bad. Let's knock this opacity on that layer all the way back down to 0. This is the original image. Now let's slide the opacity up a little bit. You can see the more we slide it up, the more it lightens her face, and it also takes away, kind of starts to take away some of those wrinkles, like on her forehead, and just some of the noise of her skin. Okay, so it kind of smooths her face out just a little bit. There you go. So you can see once we get to about 62%, that's too much. It's not looking that good. Okay, we'll dial it back down. I find I change the opacity to where I think it's good, and then I knock it down just a little bit more. Okay, I don't want to overdo it. Now let's turn this off. That's the original. That's edited. Looks much better. You can even take this layer and kind of darken up those lines in there and right in there. But that works well for now. You can even grab different paint samples to do that, and then it would kind of darken it up a little bit. You don't want to do that too much, but it would darken it up just a little bit, which it might bring out a little bit of niceness to her face. Okay, spend some time on that. Now, one of the last things is we can brighten up her eyes a little bit. Although her eyes actually, I think, look pretty good. I'm all about editing as little as possible for the skin. We don't need to age her, take away 10, 20 years. We just want to take off a few little wrinkles, smooth her skin out, but still keep her character. Okay, in this photo, they took away a lot of the wrinkles and everything, and that's just not her. That's not who she is. I think that's changing it too much. Okay, but the next thing we want to do is her teeth are just a little bit yellow. She's probably a coffee drinker. I can identify with that. That's okay. So I'm going to zoom into her teeth here, and we're going to go to paths, create a new path right here, grab our pen tool. I always press A and then P from Illustrator. It's nice to do that, but you just need to press P. And I'm going to go around really, really quickly. You don't even need to really mess with curves a ton at this close of zoom. You can just click a lot, and then we're going to outline all these teeth, and we're going to brighten these teeth up, and we're going to yellow up. I'm not going to yellow them. We're going to lighten them up so they're a little more blue, and they will look more white. Okay, we don't want to just brighten them all, but we're going to make them look a little more healthy, a little more less coffee stained, and more white and clean. Okay, so I'll finish outlining this really quickly, and spend a little bit of time on that. And there we go, this back corner. Okay, great. Oops, there we go. Get that back one back. Okay, now I'll control click this layer, or right click, make a selection, and choose one radius. I'm going to undo that real quick and do it again. Make sure you don't have the path selected like this. Don't have the path selected. You have this, then you have your pen tool, and then you want to click on the path and then click it. Make sure you click off your path and just even click down here, then select your path again, then control click and click make selection. Okay, you might do some other weird masking things if you do that. Don't mask this. We are making a selection. We are not creating a mask. Okay, feather the radius by 1 pixel. That's great. Now we're going to go to layers, and we are going to make a copy of her teeth layer. Command C, Command V, layer this teeth right there. That is her teeth layer. Guess we can name this skin fix. Here we go. Go back to the teeth layer. Now let's do two things. One, we're going to go to the levels right here, add an adjustment layer. We're going to brighten her teeth up. Whoop, that brightens up the whole image. Go back to your layers, hold down Option, apply the level change only to her teeth. There we go. Now I'm going to lighten up her teeth. That's way, way too bright. I'm going to knock it down a little bit. Go back and forth. Actually, it should zoom out. Look at the whole image when you do this. Lighten them up just a little bit. Too much, probably way too much. Knock it down. That's okay right there. I think it's probably pretty good as far as lightness. And you can't just fix these teeth by doing that. That doesn't look quite natural. Okay. Now, after adding this, let's also select the teeth layer again, add an adjustment layer, color balance. Great, that one is already affected only the teeth layer. What we need to do is we have the tone on the midtones, and we change the yellow. We change it to a little blue. If I go all the way, you can see it's all the way blue. Go to about here, 29. Bring the cyan down a little bit. We're changing all the yellow colors on that layer to blues. Let's do this for the highlights as well. Tweak those blues. Too much blue, that's too bad. She had a lot of frosting. Okay, so now we just tweak this blue just a little bit right there. Bring the cyan up just a little bit as well. Change the reds and the yellows to blues and cyans. There. Now, let's take away these. That's what the teeth looked like before. There's the color fix, pretty good. Brighten them up just a hair, much better. Okay, so that's looking much better. You can spend some time on each of those things. I think there's a little, for me personally, too much yellow in here, too much saturation. I prefer a photo more like this, a little lighter, leaving a little wrinkles. Still who she is. Light, bright face is who she is. Fixing the teeth. They're nice and clean, but they're not overly alarmingly bright. Okay, it's still very natural. Do these changes, save a JPEG to this canvas page, and then you'll be set, ready